Losing weight is one thing. Keeping the weight off after you do that, that's a completely different story. And that's a lot harder to do. And I have a question for you right in the beginning of this video. That is, have you went on a journey of weight loss, and have you kept the weight loss after for a couple of years? Yes or no? And if so, what did you do to keep the weight off? The reason why this is harder is because the strategies that you use for weight loss, they are needed, but they are not sufficient to keep the weight off after for a couple of months or years. And there's a couple of mistakes that most people make, that this is what I want to address in this video to make sure that you can get ready for this. And if you're not on a weight loss path right now, that is potentially even better, because if you apply those strategies even before you go into that journey, this is when it's most effective. And a key distinction here is that the strategies for weight loss usually come from nutrition, but these strategies to keep it off is something that comes from your mindset. The number one key mistake here is when the weight loss process is not aligned with a core value or principle that you have. And you will have experienced that if you felt restricted, or if you couldn't wait for this process to finish because it was just horrible. If that is so, it's because the things that you are doing to lose weight, they are not reflecting what is important to you. Someone who is losing weight because they want to feel more free, and they want to feel light, but the process to get there is a process that is super structured and super restricted. There's a mismatch of what I want to experience and what I'm doing to get there. So if you are on a weight loss journey, the first thing that you need to ask is, what drives you, and why are you doing this in the first place? What is important to you? And then how do you align the steps of this process to reflect that thing that is important? Because if there is a mismatch, you cannot just wait for this to finish, and when it finishes, you go back to previous habits that were preventing you from losing weight to begin with. The second mistake is when you treat this as a project. That idea, I worked with a client before that he lost 50 pounds more or less to get ready for his wedding. So it's that thing, okay, I'm gonna lose weight, I have 3 months, my wedding is there, this is a project, I put in my calendar, there's a to-do list, I do everything. But once that project ends, I just want to go back to who I was before, to my normal life. And if you treat that as a project and you don't turn the changes that you apply in your life into a new lifestyle, once that project ends, you go back to behaviors that you had in the beginning, that turn you back to, bring you back to your initial state, sometimes even more than that. So what you want here is, while you are applying different actions and changing a couple of things on your nutrition, on your lifestyle, as a project, maybe you are getting ready for a wedding, for example, and there's no problem with it. At the same time though, you want to be thinking, what are some things that I will apply to a new lifestyle that is sustainable? What are some of these nutritional strategies, these exercise and things that I'm doing that I want to become part of this new lifestyle, of this new version of myself? So if the project ends, there will be a new set of habits that will build a new routine that will keep that weight off, because now you are nurturing a different lifestyle. The third mistake here is when you try to do this weight loss journey too fast. You say, I work with someone else that said, I want to lose 25 kilos, so this is around 50 pounds, but I want to do this in 3 months. Because I've been here for 15 years, is enough of that. And if you got in that state, if you were in that state for 15 years, it'll be really hard to expect that you can completely change that in 3 months. And not only that, if you put your mind to believe in this, what ends up happening is that combination of over-exercising and under-eating to extremes. So people start doing cardio non-stop, 1 hour every other day, and then eat just a salad with a little bit of soup. And it works for a week or so, but then at some point your body just crashes and you just give everything up, and then you not only put back the weight that you lost in that week, but even more, because it's been too extreme. You need to do this in a way that allows your body a time and space to thrive in this new process. One way of thinking about this is if you are quantifying, stepping on a scale to see how your weight loss is going, try to do this in a pace that is not much faster than 1% of your body weight per week. Too much more than that could be aggressive in the long term, and it can be something nice now, but it can be something that completely prevents you from keep going in a couple of weeks from now. The fourth mistake here is assigning your future self to perfection. And this is something that happens very often. Imagine that, let's say that you removed carbohydrates from your diet, and you'll be there for a couple of weeks already, but then you arrive home after a hard day, it's Friday, the day at work was stressful, you open your fridge and there's a sweet potato. And no one in the world understands why you crave sweet potato, but only you do, because you've been off that for a long time. And then you say, it's a long day, I don't want to do this, but you know what? From tomorrow on, I'll be perfect. So I'm just gonna have some today. And then you have some today. And then I said, but if from tomorrow on, I would just remove everything. So then let's see what else I have at home. And I open the shelf, there's chocolate. It's amazing. From tomorrow on, I'm not gonna have this anymore. And so what else can I just enjoy before I go to sleep? And then you open the freezer and there is ice cream. And then, this becomes a thread, because you are expecting your future self to be perfect. And then you do everything today, because from tomorrow on you're gonna be flawless. And that never works, because then on the following day, most people wake up and they feel bad about what they did in the day before. And then maybe on that day they are super well disciplined and say, okay, I'm gonna follow my plan, but then 2 days later, they assigned their future self to perfection again. It's all right, it'll be on Wednesday. So Tuesday evening, let me try, because on Wednesday onwards, I'll be perfect. And then it becomes a cycle. For you to solve that situation, you need to think that you play this game with extra lives. If you are from the late 80s, like myself, you probably have played Mario. And when you play Mario, if you never played, you're probably gonna know what I mean anyway. You have a little character that has a couple of challenges in that video game, and when you die, there's this little green mushroom that gives you an extra life. So if you die, he kind of eats that green mushroom, and he comes back to the very same point where you failed, so you can continue playing. Imagine that if you're playing this game without extra lives, and you're there for like 2 hours, 3 hours playing, and then you fail once, and it's game over. And then you say, oh man, I'm just gonna turn this off, and maybe like tomorrow and another day I'll try to play it again. It's a big turn off, right? So there are extra lives, so you can go back to that challenge that you failed and keep on playing. And that gives you the motivation to keep on playing. When you are on a weight loss journey, you need to expect that you are going to fail. And if you have a specific plan, let's say that you decrease your carbohydrates, for example, give yourself a couple of extra lives. This is, for example, how I do this. If I have a plan that I want to follow for the next couple of weeks, I decide if I want to play this easy, medium, or hard. If I am playing easy, I give myself plenty of extra lives. If I'm playing hard, I give myself at least one, because I know that somewhere along the line I'm gonna fail. If I do, I just use the extra life, and there is no guilt and there is no giving up. That doesn't lead to that behavior of just blowing things out of proportion. So give yourself, decide how many extra lives you want to give based on the plan that you have for the next couple of weeks. And the last mistake, the fifth mistake, is to blindly follow different plans for nutrition, exercise, or advices from people like myself, for example. Watch a video, say, okay, this is how you do intermittent fasting, and then you just blindly follow that helps you lose weight. But it doesn't give you empowerment to know what to do after that. So one of the things is, yes, get ideas, get information, and apply these techniques that you learn, but take some time to learn more about your body, to learn more about nutrition, to learn more about exercise, so that you feel minimally confident once you finish that plan to know how to drive, how to steer your own strategies for nutrition and exercise, because now you got some amount of knowledge. One of the things that I like to do with clients is if you have 1 hour per day to exercise, use only 15 minutes. The other 10 minutes, you read a book about exercise, or you listen to a podcast about exercise, so you know that you are learning something, so then you can make your own decisions going forward. One of the things that I wanted to ask you is that from those 5 points that I talked to you about, do you relate to any of them? Is there any of them that you have experienced before? And if so, let me know in the comments. And if you have other ideas that helped you either lose weight or keep it off that I didn't mention, let me know in the comments, because this is going to be a very interesting conversation. So I'll talk to you in the comments until I see you in the next video. The way that you solve this, coffee machine from the afterlife. Casper came. It was a long time that Casper didn't show up, huh?